new de Havilland Vampire jet fighter. The first was completed in 1945, and in the period to 1951, 1,369 were delivered. After Halifax production ceased in 1945, Vampire work provided valuable continuity of aircraft work for the Preston factory, until EE's own design could enter production. Teddy Petter. Probably the most critical step in setting up EE's new design team was the selection of the leader, who would have to form the team and conceive the first new design. At the right time, in 1944, a suitable man became available. He was William Edward. Willoughby Petter, known as Teddy, who was, at the time, technical director and chief designer at Westland Aircraft. His father was the founder of Westland, but the company was controlled by major shareholders. By mid-1944, Petter had conceived the basic design for a fighter-bomber that was regarded as a jet replacement for the Mosquito. The Air Ministry showed real interest in the proposal, but the board of Westlands decided that they should proceed with the design of a strike fighter for the Royal Navy. This was to be propeller-driven and regarded as a lower risk. It became the Wyvern and had very limited success. Teddy Petter did not agree with this decision, and he resigned from Westland. Probably through the Air Ministry, he was contacted by EE, and in July 1944, he joined the company as chief engineer of the aircraft division at Preston. At that time, he was 35 years of age. As the founder member of the design team, Petter's first task was to recruit the key senior members of the new team. His first recruit in March 1945 was F.W. Freddie Page, who was to have a critical role in the future of the Canberra. He soon effectively became Petter's deputy. The team's home was a building occupied by EE in Corporation Street, Preston, about a mile from the Strand Road factory. These premises were controlled by the Ministry of Labour and had been used as a training centre for building workers. They were officially known as the Government Training Centre, or GTC. During EE's occupancy, this was shortened to just TC. The TC building had been built in the 1930s for Barton Motors, a large firm of car dealers, and had spacious showrooms, offices and workshops. EE occupied the building initially for overflow work from the Strand Road factory, but in 1944, most of the building became the home of the new design team and other technical support functions, plus the development workshops. While Petter was leaving Westland, he had obtained their agreement that he could take with him the embryonic ideas for his jet fighter bomber. As these ideas had already received favourable comments from the Air Ministry, it was potentially EE's first new and original project. The first important task for Petter and Page, therefore, was to prepare a brochure describing their ideas for the new aircraft for submission to the Ministry, so that funding could be obtained for a full study of the proposed jet bomber. This brochure was submitted in May 1945, and a study contract, valued at £1,000, was received on the 13th of June. This enabled more staff to be recruited, which Ministry of Labour regulations would not permit, unless there was a contract to prove they were necessary. The contract was for work on a high-speed, high-altitude jet bomber to specification E3-45. Evolution of the basic configuration. The aircraft described in the May 1945 brochure was to have one large centrifugal compressor engine in the centre fuselage. This engine was to be basically a scaled-up Rolls-Royce Nene with 12,000 pounds of thrust. It had wing root intakes and an exhaust through the rear fuselage. A centrifugal engine of this large size was rather ambitious, and its position in the centre fuselage was right where the fuel and bomb load wanted to be. Therefore, when Petter and Page heard from Rolls-Royce that they were considering a much more compact axial flow engine with 6,500 pounds of thrust, the AJ65, later to become the Avon, they produced a revised proposal for the Ministry. This was submitted in July 1945. The modified layout had one of the proposed AJ65s in each wing root, leaving the fuselage clear for fuel and bomb load. At about this time, information was starting to become available on the benefits of swept wings for jet aircraft. The aircraft in the July brochure was shown with 30 degrees of sweepback, but after considering the benefits and penalties, the brochure concluded that swept wings were not yet considered essential or desirable. Both brochures